This is my official disclaimer. If you decide to pursue any of the information or knowledge that I provide, it is solely your responsibility and your responsibility alone with what you do with that information and knowledge. I'm merely a neutral party and the giver of information and knowledge. And trust me, ignorance is bliss. Welcome to Clarity. Today we're talking about a subject that's kind of important, but not really. It's one of those that you need to crumple up and throw away. And that subject is fear. Fear, as we know it, is useless. Completely useless out of any emotion, out of any thought process. Just fear is primitive, kind of. There are many old school theories of fear, and like you could talk about fight and flight and freeze, obviously, but regardless, fear itself is the only thing that should be feared, right? We all know that line, but we don't really understand what it means. The reason you should fear fear, and that's it, is because it's destructive. Like the weather outside right now, it's a thunderstorm. It's chaotic. There's no controlling it, really. Alright? And the problem with that is we, as practitioners of control, practitioners of awareness and consciousness, understand that fear is a limiter, okay? The worst kind, because even if you're on the scale of positivity to negativity, both of those things still have an absence of fear. Alright? I'm going back to my notes. I didn't do notes last time. Don't really need them. I really don't need the notes. Like, this is all information that I've practiced and developed over years and years. So for you guys, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible so you understand and you don't just doze off without understanding what fear is. Alright? There's basically two types of fear, and those types are fear of the known, or perceived fear. Well, it's all perceived fear, but fear of the known and fear of the unknown. Okay? Fear of the known is basically things that you've experienced already and now are correlating to a future scenario where that same thing that you're expecting is most likely to occur. Like if you touch fire, you're gonna get burned, and you know don't touch fire or you'll get burned. You're fearful of fire, right? So that's a known. Fear of an unknown is something imaginary, something I could come up with a trillion examples because it's all fake. Like I'm making it up. Like, what am I thinking about that could scare me for no reason? You know, that's basically what fear is, anyways. But you need to understand that unknown fear is kind of correlated to anticipation, how we talked about before, anticipation or just basically correlating future events with past events, even though it's very unlikely. Okay, like the reason it sounds dumb even talking about fear of the unknown is that you don't know what it is that you're fearing, which is useless. So we're gonna go back and talk to like ourselves basically, and establish within ourselves that we are not only going to get rid of fear, but we're mostly going to get rid of fear of things that we don't even know or can't even anticipate. There's no point even creating or wasting energy, wasting thoughts, because remember, when you create a thought, it's kind of like you're creating and replicating the emotion. So if I'm scared of something, I feel scared. I'm affected by the false memory that I'm creating. Okay, so fear of unknown, crumple it up just like self-esteem. Crumple it up, throw it away. Okay, done. All right. Fear of the known, that's something that's worth talking about, because those are things that we know for sure will happen. And there are set things like touching fire and burning that are real, okay? But there's something like, imagine putting a fireproof outfit on and still being worried about getting burned, okay? That's where it starts going into falsity and things that you should even worry about, okay? Take precaution. Obviously, it means it's like, take precaution. This is something can result in a situation that of like anything that you don't want and you are fearing. But if you take precaution, you can proceed cautiously forward, because we're always moving forward and we're always in control. And that's why fear is kind of scary, because it's kind of like that extra thing that can alter your control. Fear of loss of control is one of the major problems with psychology anyways, all right? You need to understand this. If you take precaution, it should be a limited amount of effort of precaution necessary. So if you're like, there's really nothing that can really, unless something leads to like bodily harm of yourself and others, that should be just avoided at any time. But we already established that we're doing high levels of integrity, high levels of honesty, okay? Our self-perception is at a high level at this point, and we are really not scared of many things or have fears of many things, because we've learned control and we've learned how to accurately perceive situations around us, right? Because you started within yourself, you perceive yourself through meditation and just thought, and with a clear mind. You moved outward physically, your physical appearance, physical abilities, okay? And then we went outward and we focused on how to perceive things around us in our immediate area, like what's in this room, auditory, visual, using our senses to perceive everything around us at a constant rate, okay? Then further and further and further expanding outward, okay? Since you figured this out and you're now in a high level of awareness, there's really a limited amount of things that you could be fearful of in the first place. So congratulations on that, and hopefully you learned that on your own. I can't really teach you that because experiences vary for everybody. Although we are the same mentally and physically, okay, our experiences are going to shape us and they're going to create memories, and hopefully those memories are positive memories which you've been creating, and you've been avoiding negative memories no matter how hard they are, and thinking that fear is gonna somehow block you from doing that. I have to admit, for the past couple of days I've been doing a fasting regimen. I have a 2-week program that I developed, and people they don't volunteer, but they offer themselves the opportunity to master and enroll in the program. If you have questions about that, you could ask me. You could enroll in the program. It's a 2-week program. It's individualized I do have group programs, but I'm speaking about the individualized program. And it's a 2-week program where it begins off with the interview, the personal interview, which I've spoken about. And then it proceeds throughout your development mentally and physically in a situation or a multitude of situations which we establish through the interview, right? For the past couple of days, I've joined in on somebody that enrolled in the program, but they failed. They failed the program. It consists of fasting for 3 days on just water. Okay, we make sure that a person is healthy enough to do this, which mostly everybody is. It's just a mental thing, and it helps you break through the mental barriers. Okay, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because it has a lot to do with fear, and it has to do a lot with your self-perception and your control abilities of yourself, and how your mentality starts affecting you physically and mentally. Okay, not eating for 3 days but consuming water, you're not really harming yourself at all. Okay, you're harming yourself like very little if you're doing it correctly by drinking enough water. But there's that underlying fear of not eating. It's like a shock to your system, first of all, because you're stopping something that you've been used to doing like multiple times a day. Okay, I eat at least 6 times a day normally. Okay, and this is just me personally, because I have a proper method of nutrition and like I work out and stuff, and I need to be perfectly just aware of my body and what it needs, and I provide it with what it needs, and I do everything necessary to maintain that order and maintain that health that I require for myself, right? So if I'm eating 6 times a day and I go to eating no times a day and just consuming water, it's definitely a shock to my system. Definitely a shock to my system. As you can see, I have a lot of energy right now. Do I look like I'm affected by not eating for 3 days? Not really, right? Because energy is already in my body. Okay, I have fat, I have protein, I have everything that I need. Water is what I need as well. I know that. I've done this many times before. Okay, I've done this so many times that I feel comfortable doing it, and I just have to get through the physical. The mental is pretty easy. Although there's been times where, like this most recent time, where I haven't done it in a while, so mentally I started convincing myself to just stop and eat. Okay, I was like, eat, like, wow, what's gonna happen? But I was pumped up to continue because this other individual that enrolled in the program decided and to also complete this program, which required that. Unfortunately, this individual failed. If you're watching this video, stop watching this video. You fail. Exit the video. Do not utilize any of the information that I provided, previous or future information. You have failed the program. You're done. Maybe at a later time where you are more mature mentally, you can re-enroll, but we do have to have another interview. This is just for you. I usually give shout outs on my videos and podcasts and interactions because a lot of you guys are doing great. You guys are watching the videos. You guys are asking questions. You guys are participating with the way that you participate, even though I asked you guys to do public. A lot of you don't want to do public information, which is fine. That's why I have a confidentiality agreement anyways with most of the people. So you're not any different just because you're on social media. But do what you're comfortable with. Advance and proceed. But the people that failed, you fail. You're done. Exit. Do not proceed. Do not quote me. Do not associate your information or yourself with anything that I provide. You fail. You are not mentally capable of proceeding. I apologize for how I'm being perceived now by the general world. and yourself for failing, but you failed yourself. I continued. I just wanted to bring that out there because my video and usually people in my field remain positive, and I remain like with a high level of integrity and honesty. And weakness is really, there's no room for it. This is a strict program where you can use it for general information, but you're like using my videos and my commentary for regular personal information is here. Okay, participating is here, enrolling is here, followed by an apprenticeship is like here, mentoring others is up there. Okay, failure, not even on the list. I will never support that. I will never be a part of any that mentality. That energy is just done. Okay, weakness of any kind is not permissible in my program or really any other program facing and moving forward in personal development. That is not saying that there's going to be trying times. Okay, that's not saying that there's going to be times where like you're just having amazing lives and and then something happens and you feel bad. Once you give up, you quit, you're done. That's it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe proceed in under a different like umbrella of knowledge. You do not fit under my umbrella of knowledge. I'm sorry, like I said, about how I may be perceived for this, but good luck on your journey. It does not belong here. It seemed appropriate that I'm doing a video about fear. I said I was going to make a video about fear last week, and here it is. And if you have a fear and you give up, that's the result of fear. Usually you fail. Okay, I'm not condoning doing things that are dangerous to yourself or others around you, but at the same time, we know what is good for us and what will result in bodily harm and what is not. Okay, touching fire without protection will get you burned. You should worry about that. Okay, fear of talking to somebody because you're worried that they will not understand you, or the problem, like there might be a conflict between you, or that your plan would not occur. Fake. False. Okay, that's fear of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know anything. Okay, with Clarity Vice, the number one thing that I have to get over in the first place after the interview is that fear of rejection, right? Whatever that is, fear of rejection. Fake. Just don't even, you just should proceed with your plan. Proceed with any kind of communication, and you're already 100% ahead of the game. All right. When I direct someone that is trying to do a job interview and they're nervous, they don't know if they're going to get the job, I direct them in a fashion that's going to cause them to just get rid of fear and increase confidence. I made the video of confidence last time. Watch that video, okay? Confidence and fear are kind of a ratio that you need to master, because being overly confident can get you in a situation where you can cause bodily harm or stuff like that. Like, okay, confidence needs to be controlled, okay? Fear needs to not be a part of that, okay? Fear is kind of like a natural sense, like I said, with fight or flight, which is pretty simple to understand. There are situations where you analyze a situation, you're like, okay, boom, 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 boom. You see kind of the future, and then you come back to the present, and you determine whether you want to proceed in that or exit that situation, right? fight or flight kind of like works with fear, but don't let it ever overwhelm your confidence, okay? I'm gonna go check the notes out real quick just to make sure that I covered everything about like fear of the known and the unknown. It's not completely done so far, but I just wanted to make sure that I set the perfect foundation for it and that you understand it, okay, in the context of your life and how it's going to proceed from now on. And while I'm looking at the notes, you should take time to subscribe, okay? Subscribe. A lot of you don't have profiles, so you can't subscribe, so like the video wherever you're at, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, anything really. Like it, share it. You can share it no matter what. If you don't believe that the videos that I'm making are share worthy, don't watch my videos. Don't participate. Don't do anything of that nature. If you don't think that this is worthy of being shared, exit now. I was going to talk about this situation because it comes up a lot, and that's like kind of post-traumatic stress. Okay, this is a very touchy subject for the simple fact that a lot of our armed forces members you guys are awesome. First of all, let me get that out of the way. Like, I don't know what to call you because you guys are so awesome. I'm trying to be a little bit PC because I don't want somebody to like lose it completely, right? But you guys are awesome. But we all know that you guys face certain things in life, right? We all go through things like that, and we need to understand that fear of the unknown, and no matter what experiences you've come across, are worthless. Completely worthless. Toss them out. Forget about it. Starting from now, the rest of your life, fear of the unknown, done. Okay? But experiences of post-traumatic stress in any situation, maybe car accidents. A lot of people are involved in accidents, motor accidents, personal injury accidents during athletics, emotional situations, maybe resulting from abuse or any kind of other mental kind of abuse, which results from physical usually, because that's just the way it is. It's a wide variety of situations and altercations and stressful situations and memories and experiences that we can talk about. You need to understand that a lot of these things statistically are very low in occurrence, okay? Unfortunately, life is long enough and diverse enough that you may in your life come across these situations, these stressful situations, okay? Does that mean that every single action that you take for the rest of your life needs to like be reflected upon that? No, okay? You know this and everybody else knows this, especially when you go to somebody and they feel like they get you, they understand what you're going through, okay? That's true, okay? And I'll talk about that when I talk about social checks and balances, okay? People get it. People understand. They're not gonna know it exactly. They're not gonna have the same memories that you've had. They're not gonna have the same like memory recalls that you've had, okay? They're not gonna like base their decisions on information and data that they don't have in their mind, okay? So for you, the best thing you can do, like I've mentioned many other times, are to talk about it openly, every detail. You're in the same boat as people that don't have these issues. People just are not interested in what they have to say, or it's too hard for them to communicate with somebody about these situations, because when you share your memory with somebody, it kind of gives them that memory, and it's kind of like they can't handle it, right? It's kind of like you're transferring that energy to them as well. So you need to find individuals. I'm not saying push away people that don't or that are close to you already, and don't know how to like communicate and resolve that kind of stress, just find somebody else that you can really like explain yourself to in detail. People like me that are strong enough and willing to go undertake that and accept that pain or that fear or those memories from you, and kind of help you understand them, or just talk about it and you'll make yourself feel better, which is usually what ends up happening. But bringing that up is like, people in car accidents might be scared of getting into cars, okay? People that have been mugged might be scared to walk, okay, outside and things like that. If you're in an area or situations that are like that stuff is attracted to that, I would recommend limiting that, okay? Don't join in those activities. Don't be in those situations. You know, when I talk to my brothers, especially my youngest brother, I tell him, like, he tells me a story, and I'm like, how were you even in that situation, right? So I'll explain that at another time, because putting yourself in situations when you're not one of us that has the knowledge and the practice of situational awareness and perception management and perception in general might have like trouble doing that. So hopefully when you're a mentor, you can reflect knowledge on how to manage those situations, those stressful situations, and putting yourself in situations that you don't want to be in, right? But we're talking about fear of the known, and usually that's from things that you know from experience that happened to you personally, okay? We live in a world where we have memories, okay? And I even question this myself, okay? And I even have it written down here because I ponder it all the time. Like, even I can't understand it because it's so complicated. But if I'm going to use a food example because all the other things might be too like personal, so I don't know those stories if they haven't happened to me. I'll let you share those if you want. But let's just say something about food. I eat gas station sushi, okay? This never happened to me, but this is an example, okay, of a possible and highly, likely situation. You eat some kind of a bad sushi, low grade, bad. You bought it a while ago and it just went bad, or whatever it is. It's not due to anybody else, it's due to you or any situation. You eat it. Tastes weird, but you eat it. You get sick. Now you correlate getting sick to eating that bad item of food, okay, which might be factual or might not be factual. You don't know. Hopefully it becomes determined that it was an actual factual reason why you dislike that article of food. You move on in your life, and then you reach a point where you come across that food again and you decide not to eat that food for the simple reason that you're going to get sick. You correlate it like, don't want to do that. Risk versus reward, kind of like, you know what, I could live without eating that. Like, I don't need to consume it at this time. There's no reason to, so I won't, because I might also get sick. All right. Versus, I never will eat sushi ever again, or I will never eat that ever again because I ate that once and now I hate it. It gets you sick. I just can't do it. It becomes a fear of yours, and it stops you from enjoying something that you enjoyed before. How many times did you eat that same thing before that time you got sick and not got sick, versus the time you ate it once and you got sick, now you're like, I'm done, right? This complicated issue arises with not just eating, in many situations, relationship situations, things like that. How many times does something have to happen positively versus how many times it has to happen negatively, resulting in a negative experience, until it becomes a legitimate thing to be fearful of, okay? Something that will bring you stress, okay? Let's just say it was positive, negative, okay? And you stop, that's bad. That's like statistically just, you had bad luck. I don't believe in luck, but you just had a bad day, or you had a bad experience, right? And then positive, 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 positive kind of makes you forget about that one negative time. You have it in your head. It might have made you more focused on the next time. It was a kind of a learning lesson. Okay, now I know what to look for to not get sick. Okay? How many times does something have to happen bad before one will stop doing it? Okay? Let's just say you're doing one activity and it results in something negative. All right? I don't know what kind of activity that is. Something negative probably, like maybe criminal activity. It results in you being punished by the law. You do it again, same thing happens. Do it again, same thing happens. Do it again, same thing happens. You might want to stop doing it, right? But how many times does it take for each to occur? There's really no number, and there's really no way of like establishing what that common thing is. Okay, there's no way to be like, okay, if you eat food once and you get food poisoning, that's it, you should stop eating, versus you could eat it 10 times, and out of those 10 times, one time you might get sick, right? I used food because food is the most neutral thing I could think of. Okay, I really don't want to like tap into anybody's emotional, bank right now, and it affect the rest of this video. This video should be focused about fear. If you feel fear during this video, then I guess my job is complete, because you need to stop feeling fear. Okay, and if you're one of those people that have watched my last video and you're confident and you've been practicing confidence for the past duration, you need to understand that you're doing a good job and you need to move forward with that. All right, let's check this out real quick. While I'm looking at the notes, I feel like this is a good time to bring up the fact that you can contact me in any way. I don't have a phone still, because I will never use a phone for anything other than nothing. Social media is the best way to contact me. I discovered that there's a discussion tab on YouTube where you could just go to discussion, and it's like a general discussion about the whole channel versus each video. It's more of a consolidated area. That seems pretty cool. I'm gonna try to see how I could like kind of guide people towards that. I just want to thank everybody for participating, understanding what's going on, and creating an environment within yourself and the people around you that is more positive, full of high levels of integrity and honesty. And once you create that yourself in that form, the things around you will also reflect that, and you are basically a hero to everybody around you, and congratulations. I talked about overlapping memories right now. With overlapping memories, the best way I could describe it is how I was talking about right now, where if you have 5 experiences that are positive and a million experiences that are negative, how do you overlap those million experiences again? Is it one, like for every one negative, does it take 10 positive to overlap it and make you feel comfortable? Or is it like 2 experiences that are negative versus 5? Or is it equal? Or is it even 1? You could have 10 bad experiences and then 1 positive one, and then that's it. You continue. How do you overlap a memory? When I talked about retrieving old memories, which is how we think, okay, we think like that. That's how brains work. You have data based off memories, including false memories. That's why you avoid fear and thinking about future events that are fake, okay, because you're just filling yourself with fake data. You need to understand that like recalling positive memories is how you want to do that, but without false fears, because that's not it. I would like to return to thinking about recalling memories. Okay, the way people think are, we kind of go to the past. Okay, we're in the present. We analyze the situation. Okay, you're like, uh-oh, stress is coming. Uh-oh, fear. Like whatever situation you're in, like you're crossing the street and you forgot to look both ways, which you should never do. You forgot to look both ways. you're just taking a step, you notice there's a car coming, stress immediately hits you, and you really have no time to maneuver at that point. You're probably going to be thinking about all the times that you should have looked both ways, right? More of the story is, fear comes from anticipation in the future, resulting in an action that's in the present, correlated back to the past, back to the future, back to the present. All right? You're crossing the street, and before you cross the street, you remember that time you got almost hit by a car. You stop. You remembered already that you almost got hit by a car one time. You go to the future and you say, I don't want to get hit by a car right now. And what are the odds? And you calculate all the information. And then in the present, you end up looking both ways. Right? Congratulations. You understand that? It's pretty simple. The reason I bring up small details like that, and I really don't like using examples because everybody has different experiences, and the experiences that I've shared with you might be different than experiences you've shared. I have a lot of experiences that only people in the criminology field or psychology field might have experienced in our lives. Like, I worked security for 10 plus years, right? I was purposely placed in situations where events were gonna happen, or most likely to happen, right? When I worked loss prevention, I searched physically for events, okay? And I was also placed in situations that I knew were gonna happen, right? So my experiences are gonna be different than your experiences, and I gain my knowledge differently. I wish I had somebody telling me this like on a video like I'm doing, but I didn't have that. Mine were like mostly personal physical training and mentors personally in my career. And even in my personal life, when I was hiking, okay, when I was hiking across North Carolina specifically, I had practiced fasting, I had practiced living in the wild, okay, off the grid, things like that. So when I was like, I had very little fear when I was pursuing that journey, okay? When I put my backpack on, I started walking, I didn't have a thing that said, oh, like I already crossed that path. Like, there was nothing left for me to be fearful of, okay? Because every other fear that occurred in my head basically was false. So that's how I knew, like, I'm gonna pursue what I'm gonna pursue for the simple fact that none of it is real. I don't know what it is. I did my research already. I did my practice already. I learned from people already. I've processed it in my head already. I've received the right materials that I need already. I am ready, okay? That threshold between practice and knowledge gaining and all the information that I had prior to my basically hiking with no money, because I quit my job and I forcefully lost like I didn't want to do this with any money, so I became a vagabond legitimately. A lot of people can't do it, okay? And I speak about being humble in just that you think about others before yourself. I don't mean be humble, like, you could be humble however you want. Being humble is not bad, okay? But there's a point where you admit that sometimes you might be more ready than somebody else, and you're capable of things that other people are not capable of. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're not a bad person because you're more capable than somebody else at something, okay? Just keep that in mind, because a lot of the time we keep things inside because we feel like people might get offended. You might be putting somebody down, which you should never put anybody down purposely. But if you mention that you did something awesome and somebody else is like jealous or upset that you like might be bragging or things like that, don't worry about that, because you did something and that's on them. But we want to remain positive, okay? Fear should never exist. Okay, and I'm trying to incorporate my own personal stories here because I've done a lot of things in my life, and it has led me to be a director of my own personal development academy. And I feel like my experiences would add on to your understanding of why I have the knowledge that I have, and how you can utilize it in case you're planning on doing other things like the things that I've done. If you work security, you could definitely understand what I'm saying and utilize it. If you love traveling, you definitely understand what I'm saying and how to utilize it. If you've been in a stressful situation involving like high levels of stress, depression, anxiety, relationship things, family problems, okay, in general, a lot of people have the same examples of experiences. Okay, I keep telling you, I'm like you, you're like me. All right, so don't be worried. Utilize information as it comes. There's some information that you're not going to understand because you can't correlate it to any memory you have. I'm just sharing what I have, and we will be creating more memories together. I'm planning a few events for Clarity Worldwide. I need participants and obviously investors, which might be the participants or not. Okay, we need to establish that at a later time. But when we start building experiences together, okay, and I've made many videos, and you've gotten to know me a little, and I've gotten to know you, okay. So our experiences are kind of beginning to merge at a certain point, okay, which involves social media, knowledge sharing, conversating, sharing experiences with each other, things like that, okay? We're going to reach a certain point where we understand each other perfectly, okay? And this happens when you're in relationships with your friends. That's why they are your friends, okay? People that you're close to, they understand you because they've experienced a lot of things with you, right? That's why meeting a stranger is different than meeting a friend, all right? But what we're going to do is we're going to try to limit as much fear as possible, which results usually in from anxiety, because you're overthinking situations, which is bad, okay? People don't like doing things in front of other people because they feel like they're being judged, or they start feeling their self-perception incorrectly, okay? And we don't want that. And when we share examples of situations that I was in and was successful, and somebody else was in that was successful, and we meet somebody else that wants to be successful in those situations as well, they will benefit from that, okay? When you create false stories, okay, that's why I don't really use examples, and that's what got me on the subject. Using examples that are false and are not relatable to other people, you're really not getting your message across, okay? You're just making them think about something, and that's it. Their train of thought is gone, okay? So we're going to bring ourselves back into the moment. We're going to bring ourselves back to ourselves. We're going to be aware now of ourselves and our situation once again. We're going to take in that breath, focus, get rid of fear, and proceed forward, okay? With a situation that we've established is going to be positive and successful, all right? There's not really too much to talk about fear since it's dumb and fake and we're going to throw it away, okay? I'm trying to create as many situations in your mind right now that will cause you to understand what I'm saying so that you could throw away fear. If I'm talking about fear and how you should not use it, what is fear? There's fear of the known, fear of the unknown, false fears, okay? Situations, overlapping memories, okay? What's the point of talking about all this if it's not getting to you because you can't correlate it to any information? So what do you want me to do? Sit here all day and say fear of rejection, neglect, alcoholism, drug abuse, PTSD. I'm gonna sound like one of those medicine commercials, okay, where I'm gonna tell you every single possibility in the world and then tell you can resolve it with Clarity Worldwide and what I'm saying, okay? Depression, anxiety, this, that. Do you eat water? What more things do you want me to say that will get you to perceive that fear is dumb, okay, that you should get rid of it. Have you ever walked down the street and somebody looked at you, but you didn't know if they looked at you or not, and then you started thinking about, did they look at you? Or maybe they did look at you. Why were they looking at you? Like, okay, Clarity Worldwide, here, take this. Bloop. Oh, your problems are all solved. Okay? It's very simple, guys. It's very simple to understand. We talked about confidence last week. Okay? And we understand what confidence is. We understand what high levels of integrity is. Okay? We understand what honesty is. We understand what trust is. We understand what self-perception is. We understand how to utilize verbal judo. Okay? We've been practicing. We've been in situations. Like, what situations are left that you haven't, like, already come across in just this limited time of our interaction? Okay? Whether you are binge watching all the videos in 100 years from now, okay, or you've been following around, like, along video by video, or you're new to this and you're just here because you're, like, wondering, like, fear. I'm gonna research that. Like, okay? It's bullshit. Fear is dumb. Unfortunately, like, you have to bring it up because it's like stress, you know what I mean? Stressful situation, and like you can't avoid it, okay? But you need to understand how to like comprehend it and be aware of it. We are conscious of everything. We are in total control of our lives, okay, at this point, okay? We understand it, so we have to understand even the things that are bad, all right? We talk about positivity. I want you guys to feel positive all the time. I want you to be confident all the time, honest all the time, like just super, super awesome, like you are, like super everything. But you have to understand the limitations, okay? You have to understand the problems. You have to understand the fear kind of stuff, okay? You need to understand that these things are just useless. Well, you have to know that they exist, so I have to talk about them. How do I tell you that like fear exists without like mentioning things that you might be fearful of, okay? Spiders, okay? I don't know how many spiders there are in here right now, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna come down here, you know, to my studio and chill and make videos and learn. Alright? I mean, just not gonna happen, right? Spiders are weird. Just for the record. That's basically it for fear. Like, fear is fear, you know? Like, I don't know, like, how, like, anticipating fear could even be, like, a valid thing to utilize, you know? It's just not real. I love making these videos. Process what I've been saying. Hopefully this like allows you to catch up. I'm looking through my notes here to see if there's anything I want to bring up. While I'm doing that, maybe you didn't do this before, but subscribe and share, buddies. Buddies. Like, you guys are awesome. Here's my social checks and balances tab. And, like, what else is there to talk about fear? You know what I mean? Like, I hate it. It's so insignificant that, like, I could have made a video about fear and just did this face the whole time. Like, fear, man. The thunder stopped. Alright? It was raining hardcore and it was thundering. But it's gone now. It stopped. Tomorrow morning is probably going to be nice and sunny and beautiful and, you know? So, in conclusion, there are multiple ways to contact me. Like I said, one of which is not a phone. I am open 24 hours a day. If you're in the Chicagoland area, stop by, let me know on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or even on my website. Just let me know what's up. Okay, let me know what you guys want to talk about. Okay, I have a lot of subjects that I've written in my journals. Okay, I have a lot of subjects. There's nothing that we can't talk about. Okay, ask me some questions. A lot of people have been asking me questions relating to the videos that I've made, which is kind of cool. You know, I feel like it was a successful couple videos, a successful introduction to behavioral psychology, okay, and regular psychology, which is behavioral psychology. But I don't know if I'm talking to psychologists right now, right? But a lot of people start getting all technical. They can do whatever they want. Your perception of all this is through a media, like a video that I made, okay? I don't edit my videos, okay? I don't just sit there and skip forward when I'm looking through my notes. I try to communicate with you as fluidly as possible. This is real to me, this is my life, okay? It's to help and make others understand, because I help myself and I look for help and understanding from other people. I really don't put too much time into making my videos in regards to extra stuff that is just there for your perception to be oh, this is a perfect video for me to watch. It is so produced perfectly. There's the right music that I like. It's the right time that I like. It's the right background that I like. This guy's voice is cool. This guy's beard is this guy's hair is Because if I thought about all these things before I made a video, I would be limiting myself, right? And that's what I'm trying to convey to you. I do everything purposefully in a way that is very simple, homey, professional, I guess, and reflective of real life, okay? And reflective on actual examples of the world, okay? The reflection of humans. You know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm talking about. And that's very, very simple. All right? You should follow that guideline. Okay? When I talked about self-perception, you should have realized at that point that I made a couple of videos before, and they were not as, how do I put this, produced as they are now, and how they will be produced in the future, right? I am not limited by fear of things that are not real, and that's why I'm able to do this and share this, okay? It's so simple. I just take my camera, I charge the battery, I put it in front of me, I turn on a light, because the lighting in my studio isn't for making videos, right? I have my microphone right here, right in front of me. I have my laptop right in front of me, okay? It's right here. I just look at my notes. Oh my God, if I look at my notes, people are going to stop watching me, okay? What is he even talking about right now? What is this relevant to fear, right? These are all things that could happen. Maybe you're a person that's watching this video and would like to make your own videos, okay? Just do it. I don't care if you even record it on your phone and then just upload it, which we do all the time, okay? But just because it's some kind of it's your dream, it's my dream, okay? It's my academy, right? I have so much to lose now because I'm making it professional in the public view, Okay, what if I say a bad word on accident and be like, offend somebody, and then like I'm done, right? Like what? Like what should I wear? Like my hair, look at, like what do you, like I could do whatever I want. Look, you know, like how do I demonstrate not caring? Okay, falsely caring. Okay, like what is it that I have to demonstrate so you get the point of everything that I'm saying? Okay, there are other sources out there. Okay, even if you got this far in the video, okay, let's just see the time. 58 minutes. Okay, who knows how many minutes it is before I cut the beginning part where I'm like just sitting here like this. Oh, hey, welcome to Clarity, right? Like, okay, like, just do it, basically, okay, is the best thing to do. And fear is fake and dumb and a waste of time. It's like a lot of us that have adrenaline, like, addictions, use fear on purpose. That's why you go to haunted houses and things like that, okay? But don't do that for real, like in your real life. If you're addicted to that, just go skydiving or something. I don't know, like do whatever you want, not what I say. That basically concludes today. I already told you to subscribe. I already told you to like. I already told you to use that discussion area. I'm still trying to figure out how to do like cool stuff like live videos. I'm gonna start doing live videos. I'm trying to do a hardcore video where I'm like awake for 24 to 48 hours, just live answering your questions and stuff. There's enough of you out there that, you know, I'm willing to do that. Even if it was like 0 people, I'm still gonna do it, see what's up, you know. I like doing personal challenges like that. I just did this 3-day fast by myself, basically. But if you would like to find out more about my programs, I really don't have a structured way of like making it perfect and being like, I have 2 programs that you can sign up for and come over and then blah blah blah. Like it's very like I'm very minimalistic, where it's kind of like you contact me and you say, hi, I heard you had a program. It's a 2-week program, and what is that? You know what I mean? Like I don't do anything all day except work like with you and answer questions all day. Well, recently I've been learning about mycology, which is pretty awesome. If you know what that is, like look it up, but that's pretty cool. You know, I spend time learning all day, just like how you're learning now. If you're binge watching all my videos or just watching it every week, just what you're doing, I'm doing. This isn't like a video where I'm like, fear, talk about fear, done, bye. Like this is me, okay, interacting with you. All right, if I'm sitting here interacting with you, I hope it's millions of people that I'm interacting with. I'll be satisfied with 1 person, right? The world is a big place. That's why it's called Clarity Worldwide, not just clarity of self, okay? This is a communication. A lot of people are like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And not just about my videos. They don't have time for anything. You tell them, hey, do you work out? I really don't have the time for that. Like what? Like you don't have time for anything? There's 24 hours a day, you know. Maybe you should write down like your hours. You know, a lot of you are writing down your hours for work. You should be writing your hours of life, okay? But not to go off like tangent too much, let me know what you want to know, okay, in regards to personal development, traveling, like you want the confidence to do things, you want a confidence boost, let me know. I have so much confidence, I'm willing to share my confidence with the whole world, okay? And I'll still have too much, okay? Confidence, high levels of integrity, right? I need everybody to understand this, okay? I could talk about this all day. I could make a video every day just explaining myself, and I'm going to start doing that with my podcast. But you need to start moving forward with your knowledge, okay? You've learned everything that you need. Like now you need to master life. Okay, there's many small details that I could only, you know, demonstrate in person, which is why you should contact me if you're interested in that. Like people that are like, this guy's gonna charge me $1 million to do that. Like, not really. Like, just message me, contact me any way you can, and just tell me, yo, I want to know this. I want you to help me with that. I want to enroll in your program. I want to become an apprentice. Becoming an apprentice isn't just as easy as saying, I want to become an apprentice. You still have to do the program first, which is kind of like step one, watching the fundamentals. Okay? The difference between being an apprentice is that being an apprentice is kind of like very personal. You join my life, okay? I join your life, and it's more than this, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a real time. We share a lot of experiences and time together, and it's very bonding, and it's very amazing because it's not only me and you, it's me, you, and the other participants in our lives, you know what I mean? Thank you very much on this beautiful day of rain and peacefulness and moisture and thunder. Be awesome as always. Remember, intention is priority. Every day set your intentions right when you get up that the day's gonna be awesome. You're gonna do things that are awesome, and you're gonna end your day awesome. Rinse and repeat. Bye.